up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am super excited today to film this video because I have gotten so many amazing books lately that I needed to do a haul and show you guys because I'm just super excited and I want to read like literally all of these right now. It's really funny because my TBR shelf has been really like whittling itself down this whole year. I've been really good about not buying a ton of books lately. I'm trying to just read what's on my shelf. I'm so proud of myself because I think when you start off being a booktuber or start off falling back in love with reading, it's really exciting and you're so excited that you just want to collect all these books, and I definitely did that last year a lot, and now I'm just beginning to taper off a little bit and really wanting to read what I have and getting excited about what's on my shelf. But all that to say, I was able to obtain so many books this last month. It's like blowing my mind. You can see these are all the books I'm going to be talking about. There's some more here that you can't see, but it takes up like the whole top part of my shelf. Just to give a quick overview, I have 25 books here that I'm going to talk about that I've obtained in like the last month, and I only bought with my own money 3 of the 25, and those 3 altogether I got from Goodwill for $10. So it's been an amazing month. I feel super blessed. I had received a $200 Amazon gift card for taking a test. It's a long story, but basically just spent the whole gift card on books. So while I could have spent it on something else, I received it as a gift for my time and thought, why the heck not? I did buy one game for my Switch, and then all the rest of the money went towards, I literally bought a bunch of books. And then I also received like 5 or 6 books from my work recently. They had like my wish list, and to reward me for doing a good job, they sent me some of my books on my wish list. So that was super exciting. I've also received 2 ARCs from a booktuber friend, and I think that's how I've gotten all of these. Let's just jump in, and I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about all these darn books. I'm excited. Okay, there's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just gonna grab from here and we'll talk about them. Go ahead and start with this book. This is The Perfect Nanny by Leila Slimani, and I'm really excited to read this one. It's been on my wish list for a while. This was one that I received with that $200 gift card. It follows the story of this French family where the mother decides to go back to work. She's a successful lawyer. They have to hire a nanny to watch over their children, and the nanny's amazing. She does incredible work. She's there for kids' parties. She's there whenever the parents need her. However, there starts to be increasingly a demand and a reliance upon this nanny, and things start to go a little haywire. I believe this is a mystery thriller, and I'm excited. I think stories about like nannies can be so creepy and thrilling, and I'm excited to pick this one up pretty soon. The next book that I have is The Party by Robin Harding. I feel like I just read another Robin Harding book, but I can't remember which one it was. But Robin Harding is a mystery thriller writer. We're in the setting of a Sweet 16. Jeff and Kim Sanders, they plan on throwing the best surprise party for their daughter Hannah, who has excellent grades and friends, and they're just very successful, happy family life. However, things take a crazy turn and something horrific happens during the party. I don't know what that is because it doesn't tell me, which is good, but there's dark secrets and there's things revealed, and ever since that party, nothing is the same. So I am intrigued and really excited to pick this one up. I'm bummed because I ripped it a little bit because there was a sticker, but it's okay. It's gonna be good. Yeah, they love the idea of a setting of a 16-year-old's birthday party and something crazy happening. So I'm really excited to pick this one up as well. The next book that I have is a sweet little manga, and it's called She and Her Cat by Makoto Shinaki, and this sounds so cute. It's basically about a girl and her cat, and I think it explores themes of being lonely in your adult life and having that independence, but also figuring out relationships and stuff like that. You guys know that I'm a big cat fan, so I'm just excited. This sounds kind of fun and cute. I want to say that this is possibly a standalone, but I don't know if manga ever is a standalone, so I'm not positive, but I did pick this one up too. I think it's gonna be really good. The next manga that I picked up I'm really excited about because I've never explored this genre of manga before, and that is Uzumaki. This is by Junji Ito. This is a horror story manga. I've heard Ashley from Ashley Out Page talk about this author and these mangas, and I'm very intrigued. This one is about like a small town, and there's something about it being cursed, and there's something about like spirals that I think make people crazy. I'm not super sure, but I am very intrigued. It's very big, so I'm a little intimidated. I thought it was originally like a collection of horror stories, but it's just one story about the spirals, but I'm really excited. Also, the inside covers are really cute and weird. Yeah, this is going to be a ride. I can already tell. The next book that I picked up has been on on my wish list forever. I can't believe it's taken me this long to continue on in this series, but that is Gemina. This is the Illumina Files book number 2. I have Illumina right over here. This is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. You guys, I'm sure, have heard about this book, but it's a sci-fi dystopian book. I don't think 1 and 2 are like in particular related. Like they don't follow the same characters, but I believe they take place on the same spaceship or in the same mission or galaxy or something. They're related somehow. I'm just not quite sure. I honestly don't remember a lot of what happened in Illumina. I do remember that like there were some crazy twists and I really enjoyed it. The best part about these books and why people I think really love them a lot is that they're told through a lot of different formats. There's like maps and chats and emails and files and all this stuff, and it just makes it so intriguing. So I have wanted to pick this up for a long time. Sci-fi is not normally a genre that I read a lot of, but I love books told in different formats. So I'm very excited to get to this one really, really soon. I might actually take it on a plane trip with me. I haven't decided because it's so big, but I feel like it'd captivate my attention. So I don't know, we'll see, but probably not because it's like literally a brick. The next book that I picked up was a book that Books and Lala talked about in one of her videos, and that is Into the Forest. This is by Jean Hegland, and it follows the story of 2 sisters, like post-apocalyptic, where something happens and I think a lot of people die and they're in a forest. I don't know much about it. I'm intrigued though. I really like post-apocalyptic stories. It kind of gives me Station 11 vibes, but not quite. So we'll see. I did try picking it up at one point, but it was a little slow going. I don't want to DNF it, but I did want to wait until I was really in the mood for something exactly like this. So hanging on to this one, and I'm really excited to pick it up soon. The next book that I have to show you guys is a collection of poetry, which I'm really excited because I haven't read poetry in a long time and I very much enjoy it. That is Depression and Other Magic Tricks. This is by Sabrina Benaim, and it sounds really good. It's really tiny and short. I might save it for when I do another vlog of reading short stories. Just the title alone I thought was intriguing. Depression and Other Magic Tricks. Like, sounds good to me. I'm a fan of poetry. I think she has a couple other collections. I've actually never heard of her work. It was a complete cover buy. Like there's no way around this. It was just, that's what it was. So excited to pick this one up. I'll definitely let you guys know what I think about it when I read it. The next book that I received was Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. I am very much looking forward to this one, but I have to wait, I feel like, until my expectations are a little bit lowered because everyone says that there is a crazy twist at the end of this book that you'll never see coming, which when someone tells me that, I just expect the craziest thing that never ends up happening, and I'm always like a little bit let down. This story follows Louise, who is a single mom, and she goes out one night to a bar, gets sweet-talked by a guy, kissed by the same guy. She starts a new job the next morning, only to realize that that guy that she kissed and was sweet-talked to is her new boss. She also ends up bumping into this woman that she goes to get coffee with and be friendly with, only to realize that that is her boss's wife, Adele. Awkward. David and Adele look like the perfect family from the outside. Like picture perfect husband-wife, but it seems like the husband David starts to be a little bit more controlling and Adele somewhat scared of David. Louise starts to realize that there are some deep-rooted secrets within their marriage, and as things start to get uncovered, things get a little crazy. That's about what I know. That's all I want to know. I'm a huge fan of domestic mystery thrillers. I think this sounds super intriguing, and I'm very excited to read it really soon. The next few books I have are all mystery thrillers, just a heads up. I'm a little obsessed with that genre right now. The next book that I have is The Chalk Man. This is by CJ Tudor, and it was another Books and Lala recommendation. She recently read this. She was gonna get rid of it, and everyone told her to read it, and she picked it up and said it was awesome. It definitely gives me kind of like It vibes. In 1986, Eddie and his friends create this thing called Chalk Man, which is like a secret message between him and his friends that they put on sidewalks to lead each other different places and just to communicate with one another. It's kind of like the tin cans, but with chalk men drawn on the ground. Well, one day they see all these chalk men and they are led to the woods where they find the body of a dead girl. And then we flash forward to 2016 where Eddie has a drinking problem and is not doing so hot and gets a note one day, something related to the chalk men. There's a mystery involved. I'm very intrigued. I want to read this very soon. The next mystery thriller that I have is The Silent Patient. This is by Alex Michaeldes, and another mystery thriller that everyone is talking about right now. This one sounds so creepy. We follow the story of Alicia Brenson, whose life is seemingly perfect. She's a famous painter married to an in-demand fashion photographer. However, one night her husband returns home and she shoots him 5 times in the face. She then never speaks another word, which leaves it into the hands of police and detectives to figure out and unravel why she did what she did. Yeah, it sounds crazy. This next book I have on my list to read very, very soon because I am highly intrigued by the synopsis. This is Inspection by Josh Malerman. I recently read A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman, and I watched the movie Bird Box, but I did not read the book. But I loved both of those things, and this is Josh Malerman's brand new book. It just came out a couple weeks ago, and it sounds very intriguing. So basically it follows 2 different schools where it's an all-boys school and an all-girls school. However, the boys and the girls have no idea that the other exists. Like, the boys have no clue what girls even are, and the same for the girls about the boys, which is so bizarre. However, one day, one of the boys and one of the girls ends up meeting one another, and secrets are uncovered, discoveries are discovered, and things take off from there. Sounds amazing. I love things like this where it's just alternate worlds and situations that you would just never think of yourself to be in, let alone anyone else. So this one sounds amazing. Josh Malerman is a great author. I loved A House at the Bottom of the Lake, so this one is on my TBR list for very, very soon in the near future, like ASAP. The next book that I have is The Visitors. This is by Catherine Burns, and this has also been on my list forever. This takes place in a very interesting situation. This follows a brother and a sister as they're both a bit elderly, living with one another. However, the sister knows, or has at least an inkling, that the brother is holding someone hostage in their basement. But the sister does not feel comfortable asking him, and one day the brother dies, and then the sister has to go down into the basement to confront whatever he was doing down there. This one sounds so crazy. This could either be really good or really bad. So I'm hoping for really good, but I don't know anyone else who's read this book. Let me know if you've read this book. I don't know what I'm getting myself into with this one, but I am intrigued, that's for sure. The next 2 books I'm super excited about because I kindly received them as a gift from Chelsea, who is at the channel Chelsea Darling Reads. She is so nice, and I'm a little bit like of a fangirl of hers. I just think she's so wonderful. Her videos are really entertaining. Her content is great, and she just seems like a genuinely amazing person. And she is so sweet and sent me 2 arcs that she was getting rid of that she thought I might be interested in. One of them was Rain and Delilah's Midnight Matinee. I know this one already came out. This was out February. I'm really excited to read this one. And then she also sent me You'd Be Mine. This is by Erin Hahn, and this one came out in April. So this one is also out as well now, but they're both arcs. I've never had arcs before, so I'm like, I just think it's kind of cool to have arcs on my shelf. Even though they weren't sent to me by publishers, I'm just gonna pretend. This one follows like more of a contemporary story. We follow, I think, a girl and a boy, their relationship. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this takes place in Nashville, or something happens in Nashville and there's music or musicians involved. I live close to Nashville. I am close to musicians, and this sounds interesting to me. I have to be in a particular mood for contemporaries like this, but when I am, I usually love picking these up. So I'm really excited to check this one out. And then this is also Rain and Delilah's Midnight Matinee by Jeff Zettner. This one's another contemporary that follows 2 friends, high school seniors. They're getting ready to go to college, all that good stuff, coming of age. Also really like these books, very near and dear to my heart, so I'm excited to pick these 2 up. Definitely in the summer. That's when I'm usually in the mood for more contemporary, so these are going to be great. The next book that I have is Where the Crawdads Sing. This is by Delia Owens. This was our book club pick of the month this month. This is a historical fiction, I want to say. It takes place back in like the 50s and 60s. We follow our main character, Kaya, who is an African-American girl living during this time period. She's very, very poor. Her family all takes off and literally like leaves her alone. She's like 6 years old. Her dad comes and goes, but he's kind of a mean guy. So we follow her story, and then we flash forward a couple of years into the late 60s, where there's like this mystery going on. This kid in the same town in that year is found dead, and they have no clue why, and they are starting to blame it on the Marsh girl, who is Kaya. Going back and forth kind of between those 2 stories, how they're connected. I actually did start start reading this one. I'm 100 pages in. This typically isn't a genre that I usually like to read, but it was what we picked, and I love book club because it constantly gets me to read books that are out of my comfort zone, and I'm liking it so far. This isn't a wrap up, but I will just say that even though historical fiction is not my favorite, I am intrigued. It's written really, really well, and if you like historical fiction and this sounds intriguing, I would definitely recommend it. It was a Reese Witherspoon book club, and I think she picks really great books, so definitely recommend this one if you guys are looking for more of like a hard-hitting contemporary. It's pretty good so far. The next few books that I have, these are the 3 books that I picked up from Goodwill. If you saw my last video in my vlog, I actually talked briefly about these books, but the first one that I have is In a Dark, Dark Wood. This is by Ruth Ware. Ruth Ware is a pretty well-renowned mystery thriller author. I think I own 3 of her books now. All 3 I have not yet read, so I need to do that very soon. In a Dark, Dark Wood sounds scary. Reese Witherspoon told me I'm gonna be scared, so, and I just said I like her book selection, so I don't know much about this, and it doesn't tell me much about it, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, there's no synopsis on this awesome floppy paperback book. There's just a bunch of quotes that say it's amazing. It's compared to Gillian Flynn, something about pulling a gun at a bachelorette party. I should have read this. So, I don't know. It sounds interesting. This is lame. I'm sorry I don't know more. If you know more about this book, comment below and let me know what it's about, because I have literally no clue. I'm gonna have to look this up. Okay. The next book that I got from Goodwill was All the Missing Girls. This is by Megan Miranda. I have not read any Megan Miranda books. I know that she also wrote a few other mystery books. I think this one is one of her most well-known though. And this one is really intriguing to me because apparently it tells the story backwards, which I think could be done really, really well or really, really poorly. So we'll see. Sometimes I have trouble with timelines and details in mystery thrillers, so hopefully this is not that confusing, but secrets, things, mystery thriller, death, unveiling, ex-boyfriends, expecting a baby, someone's missing, mystery thriller. I'm intrigued. I wonder how many times I'm gonna say the word intrigued in this video. How many times I've already said the word intrigued. The next book that I have is A Spectacular Now. This is by Tim Tharp, and I loved this movie when I saw it a couple of years ago. This is like a hard-hitting contemporary that follows a high school boy, I believe he's a senior, and he's kind of a troublemaker. He drinks a lot. He just has like a lot of issues, tries to be the life of the party all the time, but then he meets more of like a shy, reserved girl in his class, and she starts kind of changing him, but he starts kind of changing her, and it's just their relationship at this time in their lives. Again, I super love the movie. This is a pretty old book, but I don't remember like all the details that happened in the movie because I watched it when it came out. I'm excited to pick this one up and then go ahead and watch the movie again because I did really like it, so I hope I still like it. And the next book that I have is Girls with Sharp Sticks. This is by Suzanne Young. I didn't realize when I received this book that it's actually, I believe, the start to a series or a trilogy, but this follows the story of a girl named Mina who is part of the Innovations Academy, and basically the Innovations Academy is like an academy just for girls only. It's a very carefully controlled environment where the girls are all well behaved and all these things, and then they start to uncover some secrets about the academy. I believe it's kind of like they realize it's not all what it appears to be, and the girls start to fight back, apparently. It's kind of giving me Handmaid's Tale vibes, so I'm intrigued by this. I feel like I could really enjoy this if the action is done well and the details are done well, but I'm also a little nervous because it kind of reminds me of The Similars, and I hope it's not like that, so we will see. Okay, I promise I only have a few left. So the next book that I have is A Heart in a Body in the World, and this is by Deb Coletti. Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads talked about this book and said she absolutely loved it. Like I said earlier, I'm starting to get into the mood of reading more contemporaries because it's starting to be a little bit hotter outside, nicer outside, and that always puts me in a contemporary mood. This one sounds really hard-hitting. Follows the story of Annabelle, who I believe experiences sexual abuse and goes through that trauma, and she begins to run like across the country, and her brother and grandpa are in tow with their RV or something like that, but her story starts to gain a lot of traction with other people around the country that go through similar trauma. It just sounds really interesting. I personally really love running, and I feel like a very emotional tie to running and when I run, so I don't think I've ever read a book about a girl who is running and like that's part of the story, and so I'm very excited to pick this one up soon. It just sounds really interesting. I feel like I'm gonna cry a lot, which that's okay. The next book that I have is The Last Time I Saw You. This is by Liv Constantine, who also wrote The Last Mrs. Parrish, which I read early last year and absolutely loved. The Last Mrs. Parrish it's a pretty twisted domestic mystery thriller, but there was something about it that I was hooked by, and it really put me on a trajectory of loving a lot more mystery thriller novels. This one just came out. This is, I believe, her second book, and I had to get it. This follows the story of Dr. Kate English, who has it all. She's an heiress to a large fortune. She lives in a fancy house, has money to buy whatever she wants. She has a daughter and an amazing career, but one day she discovers that her mother was murdered in her home. This obviously really breaks Kate's heart, and so she reaches out to one of her estranged best friends for help during this time. Later that same evening that she finds her mom dead, she receives an anonymous text message that says, "You think you're sad now? Just wait. By the time I'm finished with you, you'll wish you had been buried today." So that's all I'm gonna read from that synopsis, because there's so much more, but I really like my mystery thriller synopsises to be that big. So super excited to read this one. If it's as good as her last book, The Last Mrs. Parrish, then I know I'm gonna love this one too. The next book that I have is The Grip of It, and this is by Jack Jemk. The cover of this is so intriguing. I don't know if I can get it to focus. I don't know if you can tell, but glossed on the cover, like these weird kind of like creepy faces. This is, I think, a horror book, and from what I'm getting from it is it's kind of a classic haunted house book. A husband and wife move into this house. House starts to torment the married couple, and that's pretty much all I know. It just sounds creepy. I love haunted houses. I love scary movies that have haunted houses, so this one sounds super intriguing. I might have to save it for, you know, like the October, the fall season, but I have heard good things about this one, and I'm excited to read it. All right, y'all, I have 3 books left, and one of those 3 is The Final Girls. This is by Riley Sager. I just finished The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, and I really enjoyed it. The story was super intriguing. The twists were great. I liked the writing. It wasn't my favorite writing style, but I can get past it. This one sounded even more interesting than The Last Time I Lied, so I had to pick it up. We follow the story of Quincy Carpenter, who 10 years ago, she was a college student, went on a vacation with 5 friends and was the only one that returned home. So she becomes the member of this club where all the girls that are in the club are girls who survived murderers or like murderous situations, and they're the only girls that remained from those situations, so the final girls. We fast forward to, obviously, you know, 10 years later when she's a part of this. She's doing well. She has a fiance, but then one of the girls in the final girls club is found dead, and then I think a couple days later another one is found dead, and so the mystery begins. Of course, I'm intrigued and I'm excited to pick this one up. I have to say though, I'm not a fan with the size of this book. I got the paperback version because it was cheaper, and it's like very long, but it can fit in my hands. So it's very like short this way, and I mean it's floppy, which is good, but I just don't like how stubby this book is. And the second to last book that I picked up, I'm very excited about because this has only received the most amazing hype, and that is Crazy Rich Asians. This is by Kevin Kwan, and I have not seen the movie yet because I do really want to read the book. I heard the first book is amazing, the second book is meh, and the third book is also amazing. So also, this is a good floppy paperback. I'm loving this. I'm sure you know what this is about, but this is an adult contemporary. It's about this woman who's dating this guy. She and her boyfriend go to Singapore, where he is from, to meet his family. She comes to find out that this guy's family is like insanely wealthy. It sounds kind of lighthearted and a little bit fun with the family. They sound like they have kind of crazy antics. They kind of like mess with her a little bit, and I'm just excited to read something a little bit more lighthearted. Obviously, I'm a huge mystery thriller fan, but this sounds also like something right up my alley. I love the trope of people having a lot of money. I just am very intrigued by that, so really looking forward to this one. This is actually the one I'll probably take traveling with me, just because it seems like the perfect traveling companion. All right, you guys, the last book that I have to show you for this huge haul is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I believe they also just released one called like The Anonymous Girl, something like that. I've heard really good things about this one though, and I've wanted it for a long time. Let me just read the back really quick because this really, I love this synopsis. It says, "When you read this book, you will make many assumptions. You will assume you are reading a book about a jealous ex-wife. You will assume she is obsessed with her replacement, a beautiful younger woman who is about to marry the man they both love. You will assume you know the anatomy of this tangled love triangle. Assume nothing." So that alone just gets me really excited. This sounds just like an awesome domestic mystery thriller, lots of twists and turns. Don't assume anything. I am here for that. This one is also going to be picked up very soon. I keep pretending like I'm going to pick all these up in the next month and just read them all, when we all know that that's not going to happen. So, all right, you guys, well, those are all of the books that I have to show you for this haul. If you made it this far, I'm giving you major kudos because that took so much longer than I I wasn't even expecting it to. I can't believe I've gotten that many books. I feel super, super grateful to add some to my TBR shelf. I have like one of those cubed shelves right here to put all of my TBR books on, and it's literally like full now. So I really cannot get any more books, but I'm really excited about the newer editions. A lot of awesome mystery thrillers that I just can't wait to get to. Some amazing contemporary and manga. You guys should let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these. Let me know which one you think I should pick up really soon. Yeah, because I can't decide. Maybe I'll just throw them all in a jar and like pick one because there's just so many good ones. I'm so excited. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. I will talk to you soon in my next video. Bye!